so, my first time meeting Damien was a callback,
Mm.
and I just tried to do my version of the character, and he popped back on. It was through Zoom. He popped back on. He had his huge, like, playful, like, grin on his face, and I was like, "Oh, this guy loves this." And that joy, he had to wear a mask the whole time, but every once in a while it would come down. He just had a huge smile on his face, and I felt so supported by him. So that element of play, which is so essential, I think if you're making something dark, you have to have some lightness, or is this going to be all one color? And he brought that to the set. We were playing with the dialogue. He knew what he was making, but he allowed us to have the space to really bring ourselves out with it. And that was from the very beginning. From that first time he popped on that Zoom with that big smile, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna have a good time making this." And he's making this messed up movie, but he's gonna do it with care. It's gonna be responsible. You have a child actor who's gonna be involved. I wanted to make sure that he was, we're not just making a movie about a girl who's trapped in a van in a way that felt exploitative, and he was very aware of that. Always, really conscientious and responsible, and allowed us all to bring our full selves to the project.
I'm eternally grateful for Damien for so many reasons within the production of the movie that I think Ash as a character that I had to take on, there was moments that I absolutely needed his guidance and needed him to, and as he did, he shepherded me through moments in the beginning where I was like, I felt like I was in over my head. Damien as a person is also incredibly caring and has so much empathy for what everyone's going through that in a very father figurely way was able to guide me through so much of the initial, like the 2 weeks of quarantine before going into it really set the tone of what Ash was, and seeing someone that understood Ash as well and had a lot of care for the character and myself, and was and like I think he really brought the most out of my performance in how he held me through what normally would be someone that is not normally held in that way. So I really appreciated that, his care for Ash and myself in that. And as twisted as the movie gets, this man, he's got a heart of gold, and I think everyone's performance in it was made so much better because of it. So I'm eternally grateful for Damien and really navigating chaotic seas with us.
Well, we were in the height of the pandemic, 2021 last year, and to go to this country that had zero infections. uh, I remember getting out of quarantine, and I got really emotional just walking around and seeing strangers, everyone's like, interact in 2019 ways, and I remember we went out into this, like, bar, club, me and Danny and Havana, and people were dancing, and I was like, wow, it was wild. I don't know if you remember that, Danny, but it was a wild, and then to take all that freedom, and then to go into this studio that was just like a snow globe, of hell, and where we're all trapped in this center. It felt like it's so ironic. We were like so free for the first time in a year and a half, but then we were like trapped in our work, and it was like, I thought it was that was interesting. And then also the people, they are so friendly, and they're so proud of their country too. And it was amazing they showed us around. We went to Rotorua. We went to all these beaches, these communities. We got to a lot of the crew. We'd have some time off, and the crew wanted to show us,
Mm.
some of their lives, and yeah, and also one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my entire life. Like, I drove the whole island, on the northern part, and then I flew to the South Island, and yeah, it's paradise in many ways, and it's a natural paradise. Anyway, I'm a big fan of New Zealand.
Yeah, I could second that. I asked in an interview I did for citizenship to the Prime Minister. She's but no, I absolutely loved it. I think it was it's one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been in my life. Probably almost easily up there in the top two. I think Colombia, Mexico, and obviously the US, I have to say all four are beautiful. But New Zealand, without COVID, was just, I didn't realize how much of a blessing it was, or I realized the blessing it was in the moment, but then even more so shooting other projects with the restrictions. And I think so much of being in the country that didn't have a single case, and the crew also being as warm as they were, created the perfect soil for the film that we did to really thrive on. And I mean, there's so many events in New Zealand that, like, every time that we would go back, like, there'd just be a different, like, there was a South American festival one time, and then just there's so much life that was just beautiful to see after not seeing someone for like a year and a half. But yeah, I'm eternally grateful for New Zealand. Love it. Kia ora. And it's just one of the happiest places I've ever been in.